Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. So right now, looking at this current Bitcoin price action, you can see guys, are we actually going to break the 20,000 price level today? Or is the price showing some other scenario which we should also consider, even though the trend right now looks very bullish? So what is actually happening with Bitcoin? If you go back to this previous analysis, I showed you this trend line which previous acted as a resistance here all the way, right, was the same resistance line which actually acted as a support. And if you would look at this white line, also the rising trend line, which previously acted as a support was a resistance line here, right? You can see here guys, right now the price has clearly pierced through the resistance line, this rising resistance line, indicating this line is not going to hold the price anymore. Maybe we are going to go even higher. So what's the case? Because right now, if you look at the price structure guys, you have to understand that the price movement here, what we are witnessing is a very common price structure. Because if we go back here and look at the price structure when the price was moving in a similar manner, I showed you guys with this fractal here, right? But the important point here guys, the important point is, if we look at this price structure here, let me show you this with a very simple example. Because here you can see the price movement, right? A double bottom scenario which led to a really nice pump, right? This was the new high. But if we look at this properly, the price was unable to close above the previous high structure. Then what happened? That actually led us to a pullback scenario. Let's go to another scenario and look at here, for example, right? You can see here again a double bottom like scenario which made a new high, but still you can see the price was unable to actually find support. And what happened after that? That actually led us to a pullback scenario, just like with the previous example. And right now what we are witnessing with Bitcoin is also a similar case guys. And this here is also pointing out that, hey, if you look at this price structure properly, this is pointing out again a double bottom scenario, which is indicating the price could actually go above, because this here was the previous high, break the previous high structure, and we could also see a pullback scenario if the price is not going to find support at this previous high support area. And why is this previous high so important? Is because I have already showed you with so many examples why this price structure is important. Is because this is exactly where the monthly candle closed. You can see it right now, right? If I delete this price structure, you can see exactly around this monthly candle open level right now we are finding resistance. And this could also be a reason why we are finding difficult to break to the 20,000 price level. But let me tell you one thing guys, if the price of Bitcoin could actually find support above this 19,700 price level today, there is a very likely scenario that our target, which I've already talked plenty of time in my video, the 22,000 price level could be triggering. But as I've already said, the price has to find support above this 19,700 price level today. So if we look at this price structure guys, and again come back to this scenario, if we look at this here to the downside, you can see on a daily time frame, this awesome oscillator is pointing out a bearish divergence. Right now you can see the price is trying to break high, make high, but here is a very strong bearish divergence. And not only that, if we switch this time frame into 4-hour time frame, in 4-hour time frame as well guys, if you look at the price structure here to the upside, right, you can see here we are making higher highs, and this is also trying to make high, but the awesome oscillator right now is pointing out clear bearish divergence, right? You can see here this is also pointing out that, hey, we have to be careful right now, because this also looks like we are more likely forming a bearish divergence on a 4-hour time frame as well. So that's why guys, right now it's very important for us to be careful. And guys, and if you come back to this analysis which we have talked since many days now, this fractal here, this massive move here to the upside, breaking the previous high structure, and again a pullback scenario. And if you look in our case, we are also forming this similar candle, just like what we have talked in my previous videos. And this here, right, this candle here must actually hold this price line of 19,700 and find support above that. Because if that's the case, if we are going to find support around this 19,700, then the monthly candle close level is actually going to act as a support here. Because you can see in the previous scenario, all the time in the price, when it is above the monthly candle close level, you can see it acted as a very strong support guys. So that's why guys, if the price of Bitcoin today is able to find support above this 19,700, then there is a very likely scenario that we are going to have another really massive move to the upside. One thing I have to actually mention into this video, I showed you guys right? The scenario which could be panning out. But I'm also going to give you an example why I think support around this area could actually be a game changer, because right now, guys, right now, this price structure here is actually forming Wyckoff's reaccumulation phase, guys. And this is not in a 4-hour time frame, but in a daily time frame. So this is going to be even stronger, because this price movement here, pullback scenario, again making a new high, because you can see this is the previous higher point, right? The price came around this 19,800, got a pullback. The pullback was not at the previous lowest point, right? We made higher lows, right? This higher lows is also a continuation pattern, you can see here. And now this move here is actually indicating, hey, now we are at the final stage of Wyckoff's reaccumulation phase. Let me show you the Wyckoff chart here. This is Wyckoff's reaccumulation phase. If we look in our price action of Bitcoin, you can see, guys, this price movement here. Look at the phase A, phase B, and phase C scenario. Okay, guys. So if we look at this movement here, the price had a really nice impulsive move, right? That was the phase A area where we had this pullback around this point B, right? Phase B area. And you can see exactly like that. We also saw this price pullback here, right? Now, look at this. After reaching the phase B area, the price has a new high, right? Compared to the previous one. In our case, we did similar thing, guys. We made a new high and then we got a pullback. Look at this Wyckoff reaccumulation phase. This pullback was more like a consolidation phase. I mean, a smaller pullback scenario and then a breakout scenario. So in this case, you can see we also had this price pullback, right? The price didn't came all the way right away. You can see we had a pullback. Again, we had this similar pump to the upside. Again, a pullback scenario, just like what we are witnessing with this reaccumulation phase from Wyckoff. So right now, you can see this breaking out of this previous high structure and finding support above that. That is actually, I was telling you, 19,700 price level support is a very, very important support level, because that could actually give us an indication the trend is actually bullish. We are going to break to 20,000, 22,000 price target level, or we are going to return back. Because if this is the case, guys, then we should be expecting a move like this, which we are witnessing right now, breaking the previous high structure and a pullback scenario. So in this case, around this particular area, we want price to find support or consolidate, right? Consolidation around this area would actually lead us to another massive move like this Wyckoff's reaccumulation phase is actually showing us. But in many cases, in many previous example, you can use different time frame to actually confirm your breakout scenario, because I've said you guys had led to a new high, right? After that, we saw this pullback. Again, similar price structure, right? Double top, double bottom scenario, sorry. Again, made a new high, and which actually led us to another pullback scenario. So right now, as I've already said you, that's why if the price of Bitcoin is going to be another making similar price structure, right, to get a pullback, then as I've already said you, if we are not going to find support around this 19,700, then guys, be careful, because that could also lead to another pullback. Because to the downside, according to this awesome oscillator, is showing us a bearish divergence in a daily time frame and also in a 4-hour time frame. So if the price of Bitcoin is not going to find support around this 19,700 price level, then there is also a scenario where we could see another pullback, guys. But price finding support above this level is going to give us another massive move to the upside, because we know as a CPI trader, if we look at the CPI indicator right now, guys, you can see the target here is still open, because all the time when the price was heading to the upside, the target level has in many cases been reached. But one thing to take into consideration, look at this. After reaching the R1 target level, price did saw some sort of rejection here as well. We went to the R1, we reached the R1 target level, and all of a sudden we saw pullback. Look at this. We tried second time. Again, it acted as a very, very strong resistance. And then we had this strong price pullback here as well, guys. Look, the price came at the R1 line. After reaching the R1 line, we headed straight towards the CPI line. So that's why I'm saying you guys, be careful, because you can see in many cases after reaching the R1 target level, the price has also witnessed a pullback scenario. But in our case, as I've said you, if this is going to be a move to the upside, guys, or if the price is going to break according to this Wyckoff's reaccumulation phase, the 22,000 price level, then we can see that right now this target level of R1 is completely open. And we also have to take into consideration, because if that's going to happen, if the price is going to come around this area, R1 target level, which is around 22,000, guys, we should also find another opportunity. Maybe if we see any rejection here, then we should also be prepared for a pullback scenario around the monthly CPI until the end of this month, guys. That's why the CPR and looking at other indicators right now, we are in a very interesting stage, because right now we are just waiting for price to close above this 19,700 price level properly. So guys, this is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If that's the case, hit the like button, and also if you're watching this for the first time, definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye guys.